Houston Dynamo host LA Galaxy for an All-Western MLS conference on Saturday. Joining us right now is sports writer Kevin Stott. Now, LA Galaxy come from a whopping 5-2 win over the San Jose Earthquakes, whilst Houston Dynamo failed to get on the scoreboard and lost 2-0 to Real Salt Lake. Houston are a stronger side at home, though, whilst LA have not managed a single win on the road. So what are you predicting?
I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise, Natalie, but I'm going to predict that the LA Galaxy are going to go into Houston and get their first road win of the year.
Yeah.
The odds makers have made, I don't know if you saw it, the odds makers have the Galaxy as the favorites now to win the MLS Cup. And that's really weird in sports that you would have a team 2 or 3, maybe 4 months into the season that hasn't won a game on the road. But that shows some of the dynamics about the MLS, how small it is, how new it is, and how a team like that can be favored. But yeah, I think the key here is that they got Steven Gerrard on board now. He and Keane combined for like 4 goals on Friday night in that 5-2 win, and they just look great together, the Englishman and the Irishman. And Natalie, whenever anyone comes over from Europe, they just have, we saw it with Beckham and Henry, they just have an advantage because they're so used to playing in tight spaces. When they come over here, they have much more open space that they find, and then they can get shots off and make creative passes. And it's sort of like, not cheating, but it's just going down in a talent level, so it's easier for the Europeans. And Gerrard should be the difference, and I think they win 2-1 here.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it's because it's interesting. You know, LA Galaxy, I believe, have won 9 at home and 0 on the road. What so far this season has kept them from winning on the road?
That's just an excellent question. I think it's a combination of things. They're a West Coast team, and a lot of times they have to travel farther than most teams because they're based in Los Angeles. So they have to travel far. They have a great coach in Bruce Arena, but they haven't really had a solid roster. Gerrard is just joining the team. Keane had an injury. He had a cousin who died in an asphyxiation accident, so he's had some time off. The main players haven't really been there consistently throughout the whole duration of the season, and that's a byproduct of the MLS. But now with Robbie Keane healthy and on board, probably one of the 2 best players in the league, with Gerrard on board, once they get Pinedo, the goalie, back, he's been playing in the Gold Cup for Panama. So that's a lot of reasons why. A bunch of international players that haven't been on the roster. Now when they're all on the roster, expect the Galaxy to make a healthy run in the second half and win some games on the road. You have to win games on the road to be a champion, and they're going to Houston, like you said, Houston, this is a tough game for them. But I see them getting the win here. And the odds, I mean, like if you see the odds, you'd expect a team hasn't won on the road. Houston's good at home. You'd expect Houston to be favored. And then you see that Los Angeles is favored. So that's the odds makers telling you, Natalie, that LA is the better team in this situation.
Yeah, and Houston and Dynamo are further down the table, but they've got obviously more wins than LA Galaxy does on the road there. But LA Galaxy are favoured 2.2, Houston Dynamo 3.2, and the draw 3.4, all with Bet365. So good odds there for the LA Galaxy win 2.2 if that's where you're going. Now, last meeting was back in May, which saw LA Galaxy win 1-0. So that was obviously on their turf then. Are you predicting a similar outcome in terms of goals and both teams to score no, etc.?
A similar outcome in the actual result and who wins, but I think there's going to be more goals in this one because it's at Houston. Houston's going to be nervous, and then you have Keane and Gerrard, which are almost worth 2 goals a game. That's something for listeners to remember. When you have Keane and Gerrard together, you could almost assume that they're going to be worth 2 goals total. The total in any given MLS game is always 2.5. So divide 2 into 2.5, and you can see that this is conducive for overs. The odds makers aren't going to start putting 3s up, Natalie. I haven't seen that. I don't know if it's a lack of betting in the league or it's new, but I'd be tempted to put a 3 with heavy juice on the under. But they're going to keep it at 2.5, and that's why I like the over here. I think LA gets their 2 goals. Keane has just been on fire. He's one of the best players in the league, and he's got to love having Gerrard there now, and they're going to want to show off. So you have all those little things that you can't see on paper coming together, and I think that they pay off with the Galaxy finding a way to win this one in Houston.
Yeah, over 2.5 goals there. That's 1.9, Bet365. So go on, run us through the tips that you've got for us today, which correspond with the article that you've written, posted on SportsBook.com.
Yeah, there's 4 of them for this particular game. This is one of those games that there are some healthy ones. We talked about the over 2.5, LA to win, plus $1.25 on the 3-way line as some value. I think a smart gambler would take LA draw no bet minus $1.50. That's a fair price. If they tie, you get your money back, and they haven't won on the road, so maybe it's a little paranoid. But $1.50 is a fair price, and then the both teams to score for a smaller amount, because I do think Houston gets a goal here. They're a good team. They're going to want to protect their home turf. They might score first, but LA has the firepower to come back. And like we're talking about, people need to read the article. The Gerard and Keane are stars, and when Pinedo comes back, they're going to be all right. But LA is just chock full of star players.
Yeah.
Juninho, they have a lot of guys that Izaki, a lot of players that just get stuff done, and you're not going to hear their names because, oh, Gerard is over, oh, Robbie Keane. You're always going to hear the big names, you know. But they have a lot of middle-level players, which is another reason why they're favored probably to win the MLS. They're a really good soccer team, and I expect, you know, they're 5-1 to win it all. I don't know if that's enough value to take a shot on them, but they're the team I think to beat, and it's probably because of Robbie Keane.
Okay, then, so those are the top tips from Kevin, our guest here. We've obviously got the LA Galaxy win, both teams to score the over 2.5 goals, and then also look for that LA Galaxy draw no bet there if you want to play it safe. Also, do check the combination bets of those. Sometimes those can increase the odds, obviously increasing the risk, but also increasing those odds there in the return for your money. Kevin Stott, thank you for joining us.